Best things I've ever done. Oh, George, trust me, dude. When I go out there, I'll take lots of pictures and stuff and send it your way, dude. But yeah, if you've been to Vietnam, then you gotta let me know the places to go. I got the girlfriend, so she can talk for me, speak. Speak fluent Vietnamese, so she'll do all the translating for me. Never made a plane ride. You've never been on a plane, ever, Nuno? Only helicopter, military. Damn, damn, damn. Um, okay, before we get to some charts, talk about I have a trade open as well. We'll talk about some FX stuff, some my trades from today, and some from this week as well. But there was a topic I wanted to cover with you guys. And I was speaking to Elijah today about this, and it is about the power of like consistency. One second, sorry. Let me get it so I can see everybody over here. Get the chat. Okay, cool. But yeah, the power of consistency. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people when you guys are looking to try to get funded, people like naturally you get gravitated to try and make more and more money. Even when you start making money, let's say you get your first $1,000 payout. Next, you want to be hunting that $2,000 payout, then a $5,000 payout, then like a $10,000 payout. Naturally, you always want the next step. You want more. Um, but I feel like that's almost in a sense it's not the wrong route to take. It's good that you want more for yourself, but in trading for myself, and I'm always going to talk about my experiences, my journey, what I've seen works and what doesn't. Again, for myself, so you guys can kind of see what works for you, right? Everybody's different at the end of the day. We know this. But for myself, I've found the most consistency in my trading, especially like making consistent payouts and making consistent money is when I'm just focusing on not small payouts, but just I kind of find a figure where mentally it doesn't really affect me. So a couple percent on an account and I get that withdrawal and I go to the next and I just continuously go in this cycle of these small but consistent withdrawals, right? If you're able to do that, the thing about reaching these small consistent withdrawals and these payouts is over time you'll just naturally gain more confidence. Um, and that's just through experience in the markets. And then over time, you'll start making more money naturally as well. So the mistake a lot of traders make is, and I'm guilty of it as well in my journey. When I would start making good money, I would again always want more payouts. I would want more money. So you would hunt those bigger payouts. You start subconsciously focusing on the money aspect again. And that's the wrong perspective you want. That's the wrong route to take. When you start focusing on just the literally pure money is when your trading will take a natural hit, a big hit. So for myself, what happened to me was I was at a point, this was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, where I was making consistent payouts, withdrawals, a couple a month. And then I go on social media and I see some sort of influencers or even some good traders, to be honest with you. Um, and they're getting like big payouts, like 10, 15, 20K payouts. So then I started hunting that, right? I started wanting those bigger payouts. Naturally, what happens is you're bringing more emotions in. Okay. If you're looking for those big home run payouts, emotions will creep in more and more and more. That will affect your trading directly. Okay. And then you'll go down this dark black hole of you'll start losing again. You'll start focusing on the money aspect. You always want that bigger payout. So to summarize all this, the route you want to take, especially in the beginning phase, is these smaller payouts. 1K, 2K, 3K, couple percent, whatever account size you're doing, but a couple percent, and then focus on that. Okay, get like the training wheels on, those smaller payouts, and then once you do that, you'll have a couple accounts ready for yourself, two, three, maybe even four accounts, and you can just rinse and repeat on all these different accounts. And that's where I've made the most money. Um, that's the best route I feel in the prop firm space, especially because you kind of also stay under the radar. As you guys know, you've probably seen or heard some traders in the past making too much money with a firm and they'll get banned. or the firm will just completely shut them down, right? Or take their accounts away, freeze their accounts, just because they're making too much money, right? And most of the time, or some of the time, the firms do this because they're like gambling type traders, so they're over risking. They're kind of looking for those home run based trades, which is like the wrong that's what you don't want to get into the bad habit of doing. It's like very unprofessional, is what I'm getting at. Um, so focus on small payouts, small but consistent payouts. Again, when you start doing this, you'll notice that there's almost no emotion involved. As soon as you go down this hole of trying to hunt those bigger payouts, those anything more than 5%, I'd say, that's when things could get dark. Emotions creep in again, and you'll go down this fucking deep dark cycle of looking for the bigger payouts all the time. So again, I just wanted to mention this quick before we start our webinar because I feel like it's important. I've made this mistake in the past. I don't want you guys making this mistake. You guys will see once you start making some payouts, and like you'll see 2K a month extra goes a long way. 3K a month extra goes a long way. And then those $2,000-$3,000 payouts, well, they'll turn into a couple per month, and the next thing you know, you're making like an extra $5,000-$6,000 a month off trading, right? And then just through the art of consistency, naturally those numbers will just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So don't rush the process. Long-term vision. Always have that long-term vision. Sorry, I'm really looking at the chat. Comparison is the thief of joy, 100%. Can relate so much, but only for having a payout. Yes, sir. Cool. Um, let's dive into some charts. So I was looking at why. Let me go to a fresh chart. So we don't have all these executions or my execution on. There we go. Cool. Gonna talk you through my trade today, what I was seeing, what I wanted to see. Kind of, I want to take you through literally what I was thinking literally throughout the whole trade, before the trade, during the trade, after the trade, my whole mindset behind it. I feel like it'll benefit you guys. So replay tool just did not want to work there. Okay, let's delete all of this. Perfect. All right. So I hopped on the chart, and this is again because I'm trading futures, but I'll hop on the chart anywhere in between 8 and 8:30 just to scope out what I can see. And it's about roughly an hour before stock open. All right. And again, for the guys in here that are trading indices now, you'll probably know that oh shit, I got some guys in the waiting room. Apologies. Um, for the guys in here that are familiar with indices, as you guys know, I don't want you guys, for the most part, taking trades before stock open. Okay. I'm not saying it's wrong to. I'm just saying that you have to treat stock open as a a red folder event. All right. Um, Typically what happens beforehand, not always, but typically, is we're going to be building liquidity. Okay. And we'll get to it, but take a look at this price action, right? So this vertical line here is stock open, and understand that we're building liquidity most likely for stock open. Okay. So I always tell you guys the safest way to trade indices, the safest approach, um, is to wait for stock open. Okay. And then trade afterwards. Naturally your probabilities will increase, and naturally your risk will also decrease. Why? If you enter a trade before stock open, volatility increases a lot, as we know at stock open. Then your risk is kind of all over the place, right? That's the one thing we're in control of when you trade. You enter in how many lots you're putting in, you enter in how many contracts you're going in with. As soon as news is involved or stock open, not all the time, but sometimes volatility increases a lot. You'll lose control of that risk. The slippage especially will occur on the FX accounts. Futures no, but if you are trading FX accounts, slippage will occur for sure. Um, so again, always keep in mind stock open timing. All right. And I know a lot of you guys know that by now, but keep that like a natural rule for you guys if you are looking at indices. All right. So let's go on the higher time frames quick. I don't know why replay keeps doing this. Jesus, but cool. So again, this is what time I hopped on. This is about we're fast forward right now to 8 a.m. So it's an hour and a half before the open. What do I see? and I was talking about this on in the group and on my Twitter for a while, but I wanted price below this low. And this is for simple reasonings. Look at the liquidity we are building at this low. Okay. You got to think about this from a retail perspective. We traded at this blue line, this low from the left-hand side, for literally a week. Friday to Friday, or Friday to last Friday to this Thursday, almost a week full of price action. We were bouncing up and down at this low. Okay. And then yesterday, finally, look how we've induced lower, induced higher, and then that fueled that sell off to the downside. Okay. Inducing buyers once we've taken out this high. So anybody buying here, trapped. Anybody buying here, trapped. Finally taking out that low from the left-hand side. That ticks all the boxes for me. I want to see price to the upside. Are we going to run all the way back to the highs? I'm not sure. But what all I do know is we're going to see some sort of bullish market, temporarily at least. All right. We have maybe we'll tap into this higher time frame area. We have an inducement high up here. So there's a couple different regions we can target, all right, with our buys. Again, just because we've taken out this low from the left-hand side does not mean we're naturally just going to rock it all the way up and take out highs, okay? You got to take it day by day. Don't get me wrong. It's possible that maybe we have something, we come up, build liquidity here, take the highs, take the lows, then maybe we go higher, okay? These kind of things can occur for sure. All I know now is we've taken liquidity from the left-hand side. I want to see bullish price action up, okay? At least for New York session, AM session, at least. So that is my higher time frame bias currently. When I was sitting in when I hopped on the charts at 8 a.m. All right. So what did London do? London from, and I'll put a vertical line in here so you guys can get a good idea. Look at this price action we had through London Open, all the way through early New York Open. Okay. And now we're approaching stock open. I put a tweet out on my Twitter saying that I want to buy the Dow Jones. I want to buy YM, but I don't want to do it. Um, Sorry, guys. You know what I want to do quick before we continue is perfect. Um, what I want to do is I want to buy this asset, of course, but I do know that we've been building liquidity through the previous sessions. In order for me to look for a buy, I need to see a false sell off to the downside. So I understood that the New York Stock Open could be the catalyst of this occurring, right? And that's why I pointed out I don't want to be buying this thing until stock open occurs. Okay. And if you look to the downside, we have all this internal liquidity. So I simply waited for price to run through this last low here. Why this low? Simple stuff. This is where we were building liquidity at. Okay. From a structural standpoint, look how we took out this high. Price returned back to the low here, moved away. Ever since then, look at this choppy, ugly buildup of liquidity. Okay. So I wanted to see stock open, sell off. Okay. You can see we got a liquidity block right below, coincidence, right? And then you could see possibly a move back to the upside. All right. Let's play price closer to stock open. Cool. So here's 9:30. Price sells off. It did everything we wanted to do so far, but I want you guys to understand the intention of this sell off. Clearing all and any buyers in this market here. Anybody looking to buy this asset, they've now been liquidated. Okay. Leaving possible relative equal highs. If you go onto the 1 minute, you can see a form of internal liquidity left here. Why? We had a BOS, price returned back to these highs, moved away. Okay. So not a bad place to pay yourself. Also, we have our structural high, which we do know we always want to be targeting as well. Why? Because this is where seller liquidity is going to be. Since we have had a rapid sell off to the downside, clearing all of these lows, retail seeing this as a form of momentum in the market, okay? A structure shift, a momentum shift. They want to be selling this asset back down. If they come into these regions over here, they want to sell. Into these regions up here, they want to sell. And they want to push it back to the downside because that's that pattern way of looking at the charts, okay? We have just cleared all this internal liquidity, mitigating these imbalances to the left-hand side, all right? We're on the M1 right now, but you can just use 15-minute, for example. Get rid of these. Okay, you can see we have this nice imbalance to the left-hand side over here. Anywhere below This low we have marked out on the 5 minute that we marked is a valid buy. Okay. I waited for price to come a little bit deeper just so the RR can make a little more sense for me. Stop below this low. Why? Liquidity block. Okay. And per our system, we understand that there shouldn't be any liquidity below this low right now. So we can take a buy off that. Okay. Up to a partial point, you're looking at below a 1 to 3. Up to the structural high, you're looking at above a 1 to 3. And then anything to the left-hand side is 1 to 4 plus. So this is a great entry to take off of. If you just want to take it off the left-hand side, that's fine. It ticks all the boxes, right? We have a bullish bias to the upside because of the higher time frames. Okay, don't forget about that. We've had a false sell-off post NYSE, so we can take a buy now because stock open has occurred. Okay, we've taken out all these early buyers. And not only that, is we've now induced sellers. So we have that bias, that confluence, that price can head back to the upside. Okay, so you can take that buy from the extreme, perfect, or you can simply wait for some sort of confirmation-based entry here. How? We want to see some sort of low built, right? A buildup of liquidity somehow, a sweep of it, right? Why is this important? Because anybody that was looking to buy this asset again would have bought here at this low. It pushes higher. Maybe they BE it or they roll their stop. They get liquidated. So early buyers are done again. You take that buy and ride it back up. Okay. So again, extreme, very valid. Confirmation, we need to see now. So go on the 1 minute or whatever time frame you want to look at and simply wait for price to provide you a entry. So I actually took another entry below this low. Intricate, sure. But again, everything makes sense for me still. This price action in here, if you break down candle by candle, is simply this. Okay. And I took a buy here. I understood once I got in this buy that we could easily take this internal point. And what happens now is where I took this buy down here is easily now a form of liquidity for me. Meaning price could take the low, mitigate liquidity block, and then go. So I didn't roll my stop or anything like that. My stop that the buy I took here, stop stayed here. And if we came below this low, I was happy to add more volume. Why? Because the extreme entry I took down here, stops are rolled. Okay. And I will only ever add to winning positions if my initial position has been reduced risk or I'm BE on it. Okay. I'll never ever just over risk because there's another possible entry coming. I want to make sure that my initial entry has been managed. Okay. Um, okay, perfect. So price comes down, takes out the low. Perfect. Another buy entry. It ends up coming down and tapping. Sorry, boys, 1 second. Ends up coming down and filling the candle as well. So you could have taken it anywhere within the imbalance or on the candle top. Doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. And solid reaction up. And we take out a structural high. That's fine. Anticipating a pullback and the overall continuation. Why? Because yes, we've taken out this high, but we're yet to take any sort of liquidity from the left-hand side. All right. So pullback is occurring, and then we push higher. One partial point, your next target up here. Cool. Done. This is textbook stuff. Okay. What I want you to understand here is the timing aspect of this trade was very, very important. Okay. The buildup of liquidity pre-New York. Okay. The manipulation at stock open. All right. Into liquidity block. Following that manipulation, that trap move to the downside, we get that move back up, that correct move to occur. Okay. Targeting seller liquidity. All right. Any questions? Overall, don't get me wrong. I believe we ended up coming up into, yeah, see, we tapped this, which is basically like a higher time frame POI for retail. And as we know, these areas do give reactions sometimes for retail. So that's why that could have been another area to target. And where are we sitting right now? We're coming back down, which is fine. Again, what you have to understand, and this is why I manage my position accordingly. I've closed majority out. We are bearish on the higher time frames. So yes, we've taken a low out from the left-hand side, which gave us this bullish reaction. But what I told you guys from the beginning of this webinar is it doesn't mean we're naturally going to run all the way back up to this high. Remember that we're bearish overall. Look at this last week's closure. Okay. We have taken out this high, which has induced buyers, and look what we have down here. So it's not impossible for us to come back up, take out this high and sell off, sure, but I'm not going to predict that, right? Naturally, if price does come back up here, cool. My final target's hit. Not only that is it's going to provide me another sell opportunity to take this thing back down, right? But I'm not going to predict that to happen. If it does, sure, I get to sell. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? This goes with when I tell you guys if I'm taking a counter bias trade, I aggressively manage them, right? I take what I can get. So that's why I was aggressively partialing here and here. All right, because it's a counter bias. I'll take what I can get kind of thing. All right. Then I'll leave a partial. If it wants to run, it wants to run. If it doesn't, no big deal at all. Any questions, boys, about this setup, this breakdown? Good stuff. Um, cool, but man, wild week in the markets for honestly all assets right now. If you've been looking at like crypto, dumps to the downside. And this overall, like look at NQ, Nasdaq. And I spoke about this on in IE, but this low is on the cards for sure. But I mean, look at this sell off back to the downside, right? We clear out sellers, and now we're hunting all this buyer liquidity. The explanation is very clear. Thank you. Of course. One higher time frame are different, I guess, at Dow Jones. Can you send me Nuno, can you send me a trading view link? We'll take a look. This is daily. Is this the same? Why is your chart look different? Oh, wait. Oh, you're using a different futures feed here. CBot? Is that it? Elijah, are you in here?
No, that should be the same one.
Is
I don't
it?
know why it says,
CBot?
yeah, I
Oh
don't know
shit, it
why
is.
his
It
looks
is.
different.
I thought it was supposed to be CME. I was tripping. Um, it looks different though.
It does look different.
This is a daily chart. Am I tripping? Daily chart? Daily
Yes,
chart?
maybe it glitched like it's really on the 4 hour for him.
Industrial
And
average.
I don't know, 'cause his looks mad different.
No, yours is literally different. What the hell? I've never seen this. Dude, what? I am losing my mind right now.
Yeah, I like reload your trading view, Nuno, or something, like delete everything, like delete the charts.
What the hell? Micro E-mini Dow Jones Industrial Average.
That's exactly what you got there.
Yeah, and it's a C-bot feed. What the fuck, dude? I've never seen anything like this in my life. We legit have two different charts on the exact same feed.
Yeah, he doesn't have that low that's respected to the left.
Dan says
That
perhaps you
makes
have
no
the graph
sense.
set to be adjusted chart. Be adjusted.
Oh, you
What's
know
that?
where it says BADJ at the bottom right corner? You should press that. That's for like to adjust for the contract when the contract's renewed.
This?
Yeah,
What the hell is
that's
that?
that's probably what that is. That's like for when the contracts change. So for instance, like you see whenever they have like E-mini NASDAQ for March 2024 or
Oh, I
whatever
see. I see.
for that period, that quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they use that for, to adjust it for.
Interesting. Okay. But that legit changes the whole chart. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it does.
Which one have you had yours on or off?
Let me check. Which
I
one is
am.
mine?
You guys can tell that I'm a noob when it comes to futures
Mine
clearly.
is not on it right now, currently.
I'm gonna ask some of my other buddies as well and see what they recommend, guys. But yeah, that's weird. I don't even know. I don't know enough about futures yet to know what this is, if this should be on or off. So I'll do
Yeah, I think
my.
people use it. I think most
Yeah.
people use it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most people use it.
I'll ask around and see what the other guys say as well. Yeah, that's all. Okay. Gold, man. Wow. I haven't really actually. I've been looking at gold futures a bit, but we're getting a quite a big dump right now. Look at this weekly candle. I, I don't know. It's so high that you just can't even pinpoint where it's going to be going to next. I'm gonna stay away from gold right now, honestly. Any trade on gold maybe is just in and outs. Euro looks interesting. And I was looking at this with a friend of mine. Take a look at the daily chart. So leaving equals up here, okay? We've now just taken internal here and got some liquidity to the left-hand side. Yeah, I'll take a look at Bitcoin after 100%. I'll go through the crypto charts. But yeah, Euro's in an interesting spot. And then of course we have a liquidity block sitting right below, right? So I'm interested to see price down to the lows on Euro, guys. So keep an eye on that. I do believe this move right now is short-lived. We're just gonna be building liquidity right here. So don't worry about catching anything too swing perspective on Euro right now. I do believe this low needs to go before anything is going to be seen to the upside. All right. So next destination on Euro is going to be here. What's this, George?
Don't you see that as a liquidity block as well?
Yes,
Below,
but just respect it here.
just oh, okay, because it's already been respected.
Yeah.
I
Don't get me wrong. Like that's why we've had another reaction. Maybe it's dug into something very refined in here. But overall, we have liquidity below this low, right? So let's wait for that to go.
sure.
But yeah, my outlook on Euro right now. Let's take a look at, so you want to look at BTC. I was looking at BTC and it does look interesting as well. It's just hard to say sometimes because we are at been basically at a higher time frame bottom. Don't get me wrong. Look, I mean, we've taken out all of this, right? And we have some relative equals above. Look at all this liquidity we've left as well. Trap move to the downside. I don't want to be pinpointing bottoms because that's just bad news. But yes, we have definitely tapped into this weekly imbalance. We have induced sellers by running this low. Um, I am bullish on crypto long term. Okay. But this is a higher time frame outlook. So it could take weeks for a bottom to print. But if we start seeing a move back up, yes, I do believe higher time frame looks delicious. And same with Ethereum, I've been looking at. Again, I don't want to be pinpointing bottoms, but my short target for Ethereum is hit. Okay, I did want to see price back to 2100. I've been talking about this for the last couple weeks with you guys. I've been telling you, actually, talking to people since like mid 3000s that price should come back to 31 if we were going to see bullish price action back to the upside. Um, so again, my short target is hit on both assets, but I'm not going to be telling you guys an exact bottom because that's just bad news. So we'll wait and see what occurs, but it will take, in my opinion, weeks for the bottom to print. But yeah, if any of you guys are long-term holders or investors in crypto, definitely going to be an interesting next few weeks for sure. I'm going to be keeping an eye as well. Um, what we can cover actually is I want to go over a gold move I took the other day. I believe that's my alert telling me I'm BE. Yeah, I'm just gonna close that out. Um, cool. So gold, this was so clean the other day. And what I really want you guys to focus on this breakdown is the direction. the importance of direction here. All right. So highs taken out, inducing buyers. Completely agree. Thanks. No worries, Dan. Highs taken out, inducing buyers. If you just look back down at the lows, look at the liquidity we've been building as we've been trending to the upside, right? Pushing to the upside. As soon as you take out this high, price is now induced higher, which can allow price to trade lower, right? So these are my all-time favorite setups. This is what I want to see all the time. But when we're in a bearish environment, aka gold in this scenario right here, with all this liquidity to the downside, when we're in a bearish scenario and we see a false move to the upside, trap move to the upside, these are my favorite setups to take. All right. If you look, sorry, here we had BOS to downside. Okay. Why is this important? It induces sellers. Okay. These are areas that sellers want to be taking entries from anywhere in here. Okay. We understand that this asset is also built liquidity for us. Here, look at this liquidity. We just literally induced sellers. All right. Sold off, taking here, which is again just induced even more sellers, telling me there's even more liquidity up here. Pattern traders, retail traders want to see this, okay, and then price to the downside, okay. If we zoom out, we understand that if we respect these lows right now and we get a false move up, all we've done is now just induce more liquidity below this low, which means buyers are taking buys here, maybe on this move up as well, with their stop losses below these lows. So lots and lots of liquidity are going to be below these lows. But we need to see this occur from A to B. This runs sellers, runs all the seller liquidity, induces buyers, and then this is a simple sell back down to the lows. Okay. Now, also think about what time do I always tell you guys to keep an eye on if you're like trying to line up like a trap move or like a run of liquidity. It's always going to be, not always, but most of the time, if you back test this on your side as well, in between 9, oops, 9 and 10 a.m. Okay. Not to the minute, but for the most part, in between this hour, you'll see some sort of trap move occur. And that lined up perfectly with gold this day. We have now just trapped sellers in a bearish environment with liquidity left to the downside, right? This is a Da Vinci setup, low to high, false sell-off, or sorry, false bullish move in a bearish environment. Oh man, these are textbook. Lined up with timing perfectly. These are the setups you want, and then it's so easy to hold these type of trades back down to the lows. Look at the reaction we get. And look how 930 hits. Here's stock open. Opens up, spikes the last high. Right? 930 opens up, spikes the last high. If you look at my crosshair, 935, and then sell off to the downside, right down to your lows. So how can you enter this? I used a refined M1. I think I can go on M1, right? Yeah, it will let me. Perfect. I saw price leave this very refined, and don't get me wrong, it is a little more of you can call it extreme, you can call it risky, whatever you want to call it. Still tells me there's an M1 liquidity block up here, so I can take an extreme entry. If you're not comfortable doing that, it tapped into it, okay, and gave us a reaction down. You could wait for some sort of candle closure, okay, and if you can see the M5 gave a rejection like this, take the entry, and again, just ride this thing to the downside. Okay, so however you're comfortable taking this entry, all I know is what I want you to focus on here is the importance of how clean this trade was. The direction of this trade was so perfect. Okay. These Da Vinci setups, and if you guys aren't familiar with the Da Vinci setup, please go watch it. But if you guys ever just get used to the Da Vinci setup is what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you, and I've told people in the past, this Da Vinci setup, if you nail it, it has like, and I need to gather an actual strike rate for it, but it has like, I swear to God, I rarely lose setups when I'm trading a Da Vinci one. And if I have a losing entry, maybe I'm just FOMOing and I'm taking a little bit too early or I'm a little bit too aggressive with my entry. But overall, the direction of these Da Vinci setups, guys, are insane. Promise you. but super, super clean, right? False move to the upside, pair that up with your timing, so, so clean, and then you hold that shit right back down to the lows. But yeah, this was I like to see these setups. So, so good. All right, any questions? Good stuff. All right, guys. If you guys don't got any more questions for the rest, let me know. Too clean, yes, sir, man. These are the ones I love to see, honestly. Um, but yeah, we can wrap up today. Hope you guys have a solid weekend. Um, I hope I did I hit record on your end, guys? Yeah, I did record. Thank God. Nuno, what's this? Can you send me a link? Yeah, type your question in the chat. I'll go through it. GJ entry? Yeah, I'll go through GJ. Um, gold on Thursday, 9:20 a.m. Okay, I'll take a look at that. We'll go through the GJ one quick pre, and then we'll go to your gold one on Thursday. Did you take something, or is it just a question on it? Perfect, Nuno. Thank you, thank you. Um, are you talking about taking a sell up here, or what's your question? Sorry. Gotcha. Let me open this one. Oh, taking this sell entry. Yeah, I was actually talking about GJ. It's in a weird spot, and we'll talk about why real quick. If you just go on the higher time frames, we're trading in this whole area right now, right? Building a shit ton of liquidity to the downside, obviously, right? Um, I believe now we should see a move up. Why? We're getting what I just talked about on gold basically happened on GJ. So building a shit ton of liquidity to the downside here, right? We'll change this to red. Building a shit ton of liquidity to the downside on GJ. And now we've just had a bullish move to the upside. All right. So what you can anticipate is most likely a move back down to the downside. Okay. So again, these are the setups I always like to look for. A false bullish move in a bearish environment. Okay. This induces buyers. Okay. But not only that is we've now just built all of this liquidity to the downside. So you can short on the way down. Okay. So I do believe the short will occur. It's just been in this tough week because if you look here as well, check this out. And this is an ugly price action because we've been chopping around here for a good week. But look how we've induced sellers here and then trapped them. But then price came back down to the low, and all we did was just built more liquidity, right? And it is what it is. That happens. Um, but it's not wrong. All you can do is manage your entries and your risk accordingly. Nothing is ever 100%. You're an early seller, and yeah, it is what it is. You can't bang on get the best entries all the time. But if you were looking for entries, yes, per the system, you could have looked for an entry above this high, 100%. And then again, we took this. This sell entry wasn't bad either. Maybe one in here, I can't really tell. Maybe another one in there. Once these lows go for sure, you got to be taking partials, right? Of course, we didn't take the low from the left-hand side as well, but we're taking a structural low. These are areas, these are levels you need to be paying yourself. And of course, we've now just induced higher once more. This is a valid sell entry as well.
We have a clean liquidity block to the left.
Yeah, looks like we do.
Yeah, a stop
Yeah.
loss was there.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, definitely, I do see these lows going eventually. When they do, it'll be nice because you got a good 235 pips left. So yeah, I do believe GJ will run these lows eventually. Honestly, if you zoom out on this asset as well, look at this. We got all of these lows we've left. And these lows are what? How many? 700 or no? Oh my God. Over 1,000 pips away, 1,200 pips away. So, and GJ will be interesting as well. So we'll see on GJ long term. But we'll go look at gold. You said quickly Thursday at 9 a.m. you said? Thursday, 9:20. All right. You have a. I hesitate just because the liquidity block formed. Just because of the liquidity formed above liquidity block. Were you trying to buy or sell? What's your question? Sell. And yeah, I'm. Wait, didn't you DM me this? Didn't we talk about this already? We talked about this. I swear we did, no? Oh, maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, liquidity block formed.
Yeah, bro. But there's a liquid uh above that too, right here.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. You just got to trade the system for what it is, right? You're never gonna have 100% confidence in a setup, but all you got to do is understand if you're bearish, we've induced sellers, we've trapped them. You got a liquidity block, you have a load of target. Why this low? We've been building liquidity here. So, and that's all you can do, right? I mean, sure, is it impossible for price to destroy all this and go higher? Sure, I guess, but that's why we have a system in place. You have rules in place, and you take losses and you'll take wins, right? So again, sure, is it possible we could have ran here? Anything's possible, but that's why we have a strategy, right? You just trade the strategy for what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. But yes, definitely valid to take this above here, stop loss above the high, target the low. And also we're heavily bearish on gold, so that's an added influence, right? You can target maybe these lows on the left-hand side as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool, brother. All right, guys. We'll wrap up for the week here. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And let me stop sharing here. Perfect. Cool. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I will see you guys back at the Discord Monday. I'll be in Florida, but I'll still be completely active. Nothing changes. So, yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. All right. Good stuff. We'll talk.